If you've ever wondered what the heck you actually said at the end of that party,
or wanted a do-over button for those cringeworthy encounters,
then you've experienced what we call the joy of awkwardness.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Bree.
And we're here to celebrate the awkward.
Embrace the awkward.
And remind you of one important thing.
You may be awkward,
but you're definitely not alone.
Well, that was awkward. Hi, Mendy.
Hi, Bree.
Oh, it's so good to see you today.
You too.
Do you have an awkward story from this week?
Oh, boy. Of course I do. So this one happened on a stage live in front of people. Denise and I were co-hosting one of our comedy nights.
Hold on. One thing first.
What?
We need to tell our listener who Denise is, because even though she's famous to us, not everybody knows who she is.
Yes, Denise is our best friend. We share her.
And we call her Dee Dee.
Yes.
So you were on stage, one of your comedy nights. By the way, fantastic comedy nights.
Oh, thank you.
It's been so much fun while we've been on hiatus to get to go see you perform and be funny in front of a bunch of people. Although I get a little jealous because I want it to just be me.
Up there alone performing for everyone?
No, an audience of one. So you're performing with Denise.
Yes. Co-hosting as the Tiptop Twins this comedy night.
Who are the Tiptop Twins?
I was afraid you were going to ask this. Whenever somebody asked who the Tiptop Twins are, they're so hard to describe. They're so unique. Do you know the show Hee Haw? Of course you do.
I know Hee Haw.
All right, so imagine all those girls from Hee Haw, but they're a whole lot naughtier and not quite as smart, except when it comes to beauty techniques.
They've got beauty techniques down?
Yeah, and our origin story for them is that they are our legal wards, and we take care of them because they can't function in the real world. And every once in a while, the girls sneak out and they get up to mischief, go around promoting businesses that never asked to be promoted, like fireworks stands and little kids' lemonade stands.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to put a link to that video of the Tiptop Twins at the lemonade stand in the show notes, because really, truly, if you need a pick-me-up, go watch that video. It cracks me up. I watch it when I'm feeling sad.
And there's tiny tractors in it.
And I will also say that if you watch it double speed, it's really funny. All right, so the Tiptop Twins, you're performing. You've got comedy night.
Yes, at this point, in the night, we're hosting and just welcoming up the next comedian. And this is right after intermission, so we're doing a little bit. And in the middle of the bit, I look out into the audience and see my best dude friend from high school, who I have not seen since I was like 19 years old. And I was so excited. I just stopped and said, Jed Hurt.
In the middle of the show.
Jed Hurt. I was like, guys, Jed Hurt is here. He's one of the coolest dudes I've known. He's one of my best friends in high school. Oh my God, all the way here from North Carolina? Is that where you live right now? Oh my gosh. And then we get back into it, introduce the set.
Okay, first of all, can I just say, how cool is it that your best friend from high school showed up at your show?
We had so much to catch up on. I was so excited to introduce him to Gabe and all my other friends who was there last night. I mean, Jed is epic.
Gabe is Mendy's significant other.
Yes, that's my Siggy. So we introduce the next comic. I run off the stage, run back there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jed, what are you doing here? It's so great to see you. I can't believe you came to this. What? Why are you in Charlottesville? And then I look a little more closely. It's not him. It was totally not him. And he was a sweet, shy guy hiding under his ball cap, like grinning really big. His girlfriend is like totally cracking up, or his sister, whatever woman was with him, was very cool about it. And I was like, you're not Jed. I'm sorry. You look just like a really cool person I know. I bet you're a really cool person. See, I had in my reading contact.
Oh.
Because when I looked down at my index card before I went on stage to make sure I had all the stats and the order of who was in the lineup ready, I didn't want anyone to see Tina. That's my Tiptop twin. It's Tina and Tammy. I didn't want anyone to see her wearing glasses.
Right.
Because they don't age.
It would ruin the illusion. And by the way, for our younger listener, what Mendy's talking about is that when your eyes start to not adjust as quickly to near and far, which happens usually around the age of 40-something, then one of the strategies for dealing with that, so you don't have to put on your reading glasses all the time, is to get one contact that fixes your eyes for near and one that fixes it for far if you need that. But Mendy has perfect vision other than this reading thing, so she only needs one contact.
Well, but what it does is it can slightly mess up your distance vision. So, yeah, that
happened.
That happened because of Tina's vanity.
You know what I love about that, though, Mendy, is that you got two big moments in that. You got that moment of absolute joy that this person from your past showed up. Because no matter what, even if he didn't, you still felt like he did.
Exactly.
And then you got this really awkward moment, which we love, of realizing that it wasn't him. But I'm sure it made his day. It wasn't like you're like, that's my ex-boyfriend who's a total jerk.
Oh my God, right?
Of him. That's what would happen to me.
And Jed Hurt, wherever you are, you're a super cool guy. If anyone just happens to know Jed Hurt, give him a high five for me.
So, Mendy, we're keeping our episodes tight this year. So we're going to go right into the awkward story because I know that someone sent you an awkward story that you're going to share with me today. This is a listener story.
Yes. And this story comes from Dee Dee.
Our Dee Dee?
Maybe.
That's right. These are anonymous. I forgot.
Are anonymous? Maybe. I'll call her Dee Dee.
Well, I know it'll be good if it's from anyone resembling our Dee Dee.
Exactly. It's also going to be extra good because it's 1991.
Oh, yeah. The year I graduated from high school.
Yes. And it was the end of apartheid.
That was fortuitous.
In January, the Gulf War began.
Not so good.
And in February, the Dow, whatever that is, closed at 3,000, which was the highest ever.
Well, now I just feel old.
Like a foxy fax machine girlfriend. So that summer of 1991, on August 5th, the hugest thing to happen in 1991 is about to drop. HBO will air what will become the record-breaking, most-watched entertainment special in its history. Madonna's Blonde Ambition live.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you remember that, Bree?
Oh, like it was yesterday. It was super, super controversial. I remember her book, S.E.X, came out right around the same time, too.
Did you get it?
No, Mendy. I just go to the bookstore and hold it.
You didn't read it in the store?
No, it was wrapped in cellophane.
Ooh.
But it did the trick just to hold it.
That's kinky.
I was obsessed.
Well, Dee Dee and her friend, who we'll call Nathan, were obsessed too. With the Blonde Ambition tour, not with the book.
Oh, wait. The book came out the next year. Okay. So we're Blonde Ambition, Dee Dee, and her friend Nathan?
Yep. And it's summertime, and Dee Dee and Nathan are part of a very small, tightly knit group of friends. And Dee Dee and Nathan have been pals since kindergarten.
Aww.
And Nathan is even more special to her because he was one of those kids that moved away when they were in elementary school. He was a military kid, but he came back. She almost lost Nathan forever in 4th grade.
I'm glad she got him back.
Yeah, and she actually remembers that last day of 4th grade quite clearly. So, Bree, Nathan was always impeccably dressed, just like his mother, and she remembers his mother bringing Nathan by the library in his little Oshkosh Bagosh ensemble to say goodbye to her.
Okay, I have 2 clarifying questions for you already.
Okay.
Number 1, you said that Mom and Nathan dressed alike. So were they wearing matching Oshkosh Bagosh?
No. Sorry. Alike in that they were both dressed really well. So Mom is not cramming herself into some corduroy dungarees. Nathan's mom was a bombshell, Bree, and she always dressed to the nines and was always looking good. She was a makeup artist and a Mary Kay rep.
Okay, second clarifying question. Public library or school library?
I'm like, Bree, you're the only person on earth who would ask that question.
It makes a difference.
Okay, it was the elementary school library.
Okay.
And actually, Dee Dee was gifted and talented and mischievous because she got bored in class. So Miss Gervin, her 4th grade teacher, just got Dee Dee the hell out of her room by getting her a job, with quotes around it, in the library. She'd go to Gifted and Talented in the morning, and then she'd reshelve books in the library while the lesser 4-foot intellects covered topics Dee Dee had already mastered, of course. the times tables, how to find a main idea, plate tectonics, etc. And once those books were reshelved, the librarian would hand her a pile of books and say, read these and report back to me if there's any cuss words in them.
Were there?
Yes.
That's fun. That reminds me of the time I told my mom that Clan of the Cave Bear was on my 6th grade summer reading list.
Also, side note, this would continue for Dee Dee throughout her school career. She never got in trouble because she was so charismatic and funny, and I'm sure very, very cute. But they had to keep that child out of the mainstream class. So the next year, in 5th grade, her teacher made her start a drama club in the basement of the school. And all the gifted misfits, the rogue scholars, if you will, would meet down there, and their directive was to take whatever 80s health trend was popular then and turn it into an instructional skit. They were to take as long as they needed, so long as they absolutely did not return to class. Do you remember those 80s health things, Bree, those campaigns? Just say no.
Get in shape, girl.
Oh, and the one you never heard of, Bree, Stranger Danger. But Nathan returns in 7th grade. And Nathan and his mom were still impeccably dressed. Nathan was still himself, though taller.
Still wearing Oshkosh Bagosh?
Oh, no. Mama has moved Nathan up to Benetton, I'm sure. He was the good old Nathan she remembered. He was super fun. He still used a lot of animated hand gestures, and he still rolled his eyes a lot and had no end of opinions about other people's and their moms' outfits. But now, unfortunately, these eccentricities got him picked on by a-holes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's 7th grade. They called him Prissy.
Oof.
It's okay, though. Like, one time Nathan told Dee that in the locker room, all the guys had to go around and say one thing they could have if they could have anything in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the number one answer was, Heather Locklear's boobs in my face.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. But Nathan's, though, 3 Swatch watches. I only have 1 right now.
Okay.
Later on, Nathan would come out. But at this time, Nathan didn't know he was gay.
Oh, my God, Mendy. Is this going to be a really awkward and traumatic coming out story? I don't want these boys to out Nathan.
No. I only bring this up to emphasize that Madonna was very important to him. Just bookmark that.
Okay.
So this summer, Dee Dee, Nathan, the rest of their group are having a blast. They're going to the movies, cruising around their small town in Dee Dee's Superfly beast of a Dodge Charger 2.2, chilling in the BK Lounge. Bree, do you know what the BK Lounge is?
Yeah, Burger King.
I'm proud of you. And they've all got jobs, but when one of them is off work, they go bother the other one at their jobs. Oh, Bree, I wish we could bother each other at our jobs.
Mendy, you do bother me at my job.
Oh, yeah. Nathan works at the Belk. So does his mom. And she has moved up in the world since their grand departure in Nathan's 4th grade year. So she was now the Estee Lauder consultant.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah, it was.
Do you remember the Estee Lauder smell?
I remember going to Leggett's, which was
Belk's cousin.
Yeah. And going to the makeup counter and just like dreaming of whatever concoctions might make me look like Linda Evangelista.
And whenever the counter ladies did our makeup for free, we came out looking like Vegas showgirls at the tender age of 14.
Ready for your glamour shot. Oh my gosh, listener, you should see Mendy's glamour shots.
They're so good. Will you attach them to the episode? They're gloriously awkward. And listeners, please send us your glamour shots.
Yes, we want to see them. We'll make a glamour shot gallery.
I'm so excited. So Denise and crew would go bother Nathan when he was working. And when she was working, either at the Harris Teeter or the King of Pizza, Nathan and the crew would come bother her. And when Dee Dee and Nathan weren't working, they'd go bother Teresa at the Whataburger at Katie over at the A&P. Man, I remember those summers of mischief. Me and Jed would ride around in his grandpa's car, and Grandpa had handicap plates, so we'd drive to the mall in Richmond and get all the best parking spots. I know that was awful, guys, but I was a teenager. Did you do things like that, Bree? Did you mess around with your friends during your teenage summers?
I think, Mendy, that we have established before that the root of all of my problems is that I never messed around before college.
Oh.
It's okay. I make up for it by being friends with you now.
Yay. And when all the friends are off, Dee Dee, Nathan, all of them, They spend a lot of time at Nathan's house playing board games.
That's wholesome.
And I feel like I have to mention that their favorite board game was the Trump board game.
The what?
The Trump board game.
I didn't catch that.
It's the game with the motto, it's not whether you lose or win, it's whether you win.
Oh, the Trump board game.
Moving on. Nathan's house was as meticulously put together as Nathan and his mother were. It was a big house on a hill in a neighborhood. It was so fun for kids. And Dee Dee said they always had Oreos and a kick-ass pantry. Oh, God, I love a pantry. The immersive snack experience. Pick a day of the week. They're either at Dee Dee's or Nathan's place. One day, this summer, Dee Dee receives a call from Nathan. He's going to the beach with his family in a couple of weeks, so he will be gone when Madonna's concert airs on cable, and he needs her to record it. Dee Dee doesn't have cable.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
He and his meticulous 3-bedroom house atop the hill with the kick-ass pantry does, of course, have cable.
Did you have cable, Mendy?
Oh, God, no. We had 3 channels. What about you?
Dad had cable. Mom had satellite.
Sweet. Well, my in-town grandma had MTV, and I'd stay up late and watch Real Sex after she went to bed.
Mendy, you watch porn?
No, do you remember that series? Maybe it was on HBO. It was like a documentary exploring sexuality in the 90s. It still gave me tingles, though.
So to recap, Nathan needs Dee Dee to record Madonna while he's on vacation.
And Dee Dee doesn't have cable. And Nathan's mom said he was not allowed to set the VCR to record in his absence.
Why?
We can imagine. Her weak reasoning is that they had to unplug all appliances while they were gone. Is that a thing?
With toasters, maybe, because fire hazard.
Right. But are you picking up what I'm putting down, though?
Yeah.
Like, conscious or not, I'm feeling that there's an ulterior motive in Mom disallowing Nathan from catching this performance. I mean, he is forbidden to tape this thing.
So the toaster might burn the house down, but I'm guessing that Mom was more worried about the eternal fires of hell that Nathan would face after being corrupted by Madge.
Yeah.
Maybe a wee bit of 1980s homophobia going on here. So what can Dee Dee do?
Well, Nathan gives Dee Dee a covert directive. She is to sneak into the house when the Madonna airs, live. We have a very brief time window here, right? She is to record the show on a VHS tape and get out with the tape before Nathan and fam returns and leave 0 evidence behind.
This is a good mission.
Of course she agrees. And she comes over before Nathan and fam head to the beach for a dry tech on how to use the TV, cable box, and VCR remotes. Nathan's family leaves, and the big night comes. She sneaks over there. She finds the key exactly where she knows it to be, under the flower pot by the grill. She remembers feeling a little scared and a little guilty just because she adores his parents, and she's like the daughter they never had. And she adores that pantry, but she's also low-key loving this mission. She slinks into the dark house, down to the den, blank videotape in hand. She pops it in the VCR, cues up HBO, and she's recording.
Does she watch it?
Of course she does, and it's fabulous. Did you see it?
No, but I saw the documentary when Kevin Costner comes backstage to congratulate Madonna, and he tells her that he found her performance neat.
Oh, I remember that.
And then he leaves, and then Madonna gags herself and is like, anyone who calls my neat has got to go.
Yes.
That was epic.
Oh, God. Do you remember after shows, when we were in shows, getting those damn backhanded compliments from people who were threatened by our brilliances? Oh, you looked like you were having fun up there.
Oh, it was brave of you to be up there naked in front of everyone.
It was brave of you to give that compliment, because now you're on the list. So Dee Dee finishes the job, pops out the tape, and slinks back outside and back home. Nathan calls the next day. They're back. Dee Dee's so looking forward to catching up with him, watching the bootleg movie with him.
Not at his house.
At her house. But before she can even say, yo, was the beach the bomb? Nathan blurts out, "Oh my God, Dee Dee, my mom is really angry at you."
She knows?
Yes.
How?
Well, remember Dee Dee has a Dodge Charger 2.2? It was a distinct specimen of automobilia already, but this thing was loud. And it was all light blue with a dark blue hood, and on that hood, the numbers 2.2 were prominently emblazoned. And that night, that faithful night, our girl had pulled all the way up that driveway.
Our Dee Dee would never make that mistake now.
Oh, no. But, oh my God, I totally get it. Remember, that house was up on the hill. Dee Dee always had to park on the street and carry her ass up that hill on her legs to get to the pantry. The night of the sting, the family was gone, so she got to ride her rowdy 2.2 rocket up that driveway and rumble right into the premier parking place. But small towns have neighbors. Watchful neighbors. And one neighbor, Mrs. Harris, knew Dee Dee and her Charger quite well.
She was a busybody.
Yeah, not only that. Mrs. Harris was Dee Dee's best girlfriend's first cousin once removed. Dee Dee had been inside of Mrs. Harris's house and eaten her chicken tetrazzini. And apparently, Mrs. Harris was checking in with Nathan's mom after their return from the beach, and Mrs. Harris casually mentioned seeing Dee Dee there and how kind it was of her to take time out of her evening to water the plants or whatever she was up to. And Nathan's mom knew exactly what Dee Dee had done in her den on that fateful night. Nathan was in trouble, but Dee Dee, she was the one who was really in hot water. She was really the target of Nathan's mom's rage. Nathan's mom had always wanted a daughter, and Dee Dee had happily played that role for many years. But now Dee Dee was out of the fold.
Really?
Dee Dee was banned from Nathan's house. Persona non grata.
They didn't even let her explain? She's a smart girl. She could have come up with a cover.
No, this was dishonor. This was betrayal. Remember, they are a military family, and they are scared for Nathan's little precious gay soul, even though they're not saying that part out loud.
Oh, I forgot the military part.
This 3-bedroom house atop the hill that had cable TV in the den was a house of honor, Bree. And Dee Dee had violated the code. No more Oreos, no more pantry, no more fun game nights.
No more Estee Lauder samples.
Well, that was awkward.
So, did they ever make amends?
Gosh, she doesn't even attempt to return until a year later.
Dang.
She was able to slowly work her way back in. And Nathan eventually came out to his family.
Oh, good. Now the cat's out of the bag. He can watch all the Madonna he wants.
And Dee Dee said his mom actually reached out to her on Facebook just a couple years ago, and they had a really great time catching up.
Maybe Mom's moved up to La Mer and Dee Dee can get some good samples again.
Ooh.
So does she have any advice for us and our listeners?
Yes, she said that she definitely could have shortened the cold freeze with his mom afterwards by writing an apology note.
Mm-hmm.
She said Nathan's mom would have liked that sort of thing and would have forgiven her much sooner. So I think that's great advice in that situation. And she says she wished that she'd made Sarah drive because she had a nice, quiet car. And she says never underestimate the nosy neighbor element when you're doing your crimes.
That's good advice.
Oh, yeah. Bree, what would you have done in that situation?
Well, you know, Mendy, I would have been terrified of getting caught.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably would have reached out to Mom earlier to see.
You mean before the crime?
Yeah. Once I knew that Nathan needed me to get in the house, I would have come up with another alibi to be in the house that was based on Mom. So I would have been like, oh gosh, there are two sort of ways to go. One would be to see if I could help Mom, to be like, can I water your plants while you're gone? Or the other would be to come up with something that I needed from TV, like to just be as truthful as I could be, right? To think of something that I needed recorded for a school project. And I would have come up with what that is, and I would have asked Nathan's mom if I could use their VCR to record it.
A research project? You think that would work?
I think that would work. It would be something educational.
Something only on cable that's educational.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nathan's mom would have seen right through that, Bree.
Mendy, why would she have seen right through it? I have not given her any reason to doubt me before. Oh. I have been so good. I'm such a good daughter. I'm such a good near daughter.
I forgot. That's right. I did say, what would you do in this situation?
That's right. There is nothing devious about me, unlike Dee Dee. How about you, Mendy?
Oh, easy. I would have gone to somebody else's house to record it. Somebody who had cable. Although, I wonder if the pantry is part of this. There's like, you know what? If I recorded at Nathan's house, I'm going to have free run of that pantry. God, this is hard. Well, I think also of the cold freeze part where she's not allowed to go to his house for a year. That was like the hub of all their friendships.
Yeah, where would they play board games?
Exactly. And everybody else would go to his house. I mean, I wouldn't fault my friends for being like, we're all going to Nathan's. I wouldn't be mad. Because the pantry.
So, Mendy, normally you have an imaginary friend named Dana.
Yeah.
Who you call upon to get you out of situations like this.
Yeah.
Could Dana get you out of this awkward moment?
Well, I have to tell you, one of my favorite parts of this is visualizing Dee Dee in that beast of an automobile, cranking that thing all the way up that driveway so she didn't have to walk up it. Like, finally, right? And I'm thinking, there's no way Dana would not do that as well. Like, hell yeah, I'm roaring right up in here. So Dana still would have done that. I think, parking farther down the street would have been good. But I think every step that Dee Dee took is totally a Dana move. But if I'd done it, could I blame Dana? Of course, I could try. I would say Dana did it. But I don't even think a Dana stands a chance in the face of the small town intelligence community, right?
Because everyone knows everyone's business.
Right, so I could say I was recording it for my cousin Dana, knowing good and well that Nathan's mom knows my mom and my entire family tree, and whether or not I have a cousin named Dana.
I do have a cousin named Dana, as you know.
I know, exactly. Nathan's mom would know that.
Totally blame her.
Yep.
Mendy, I do wonder what our listener would do in this situation.
Me too. We've already established that she could have parked farther down the street, right? Or gotten someone else to drive. But listener, we want to know, after the crime has occurred, how do you pawn it off on someone else or make Nathan's mom believe that you did not record that Madonna show for him?
I just think that our listeners are A, quite smart.
Yeah.
And B, a little bit devious. And I'd really love their input on how to get out of this so that the next time this happens to one of us, we have some more tools than we're coming to the table with.
Yes.
To get out of this.
Oh, gosh. Bree, I'm sweating a little bit, thinking like when I do this one day, and I will, but I can't blame Dana.
When you sneak into somebody's house to record something on their VHS?
Yeah.
Mendy, if you're doing that, I think we're really in trouble.
Or just like it's easy to sneak into your house when you're gone because I know where your key is and you have lots of trees around your house. But it would be harder for me to sneak into Denise's house because she lives in town. So before I sneak into her house when she's gone, I'd really love some advice on listeners on how to not get caught.
Do you remember when you snuck into my house, but then we were here?
Oh, when I had to pee?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a pleasant surprise, though. But I didn't see you because you were wrapped in your sauna blanket meditating or something.
Well, we'd just gotten back from a big trip, and I always need a day or two before I tell anybody that I'm home. But you caught me. But I didn't know it was you. I thought it was a nosy neighbor. I would have gotten out of the sauna blanket for you.
I thought about that and how much I wanted to see you, but I also thought how gross your skin would be when you got out of the blanket. And I was like, I'm glad she's home. I'll hug her later.
Just a little sweaty. So, Mendy, we used to rank these moments on a scale of 1 to 10. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We weren't very good at it. Because we really had a hard time not giving anybody a high score.
Right, because we identify with these people so much. Did we ever get a story that was like a 1? We're like, well, that's actually not that awkward.
Well, not to us, but I think we've already established that our listener is very smart.
Yeah.
Very devious.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think they might be very good judges of how awkward this is. So, listener, please, if you are listening on Spotify, you can leave us a comment. Nobody ever leaves us comments there. I want to change that this season.
Yeah, I want some of that.
So, just right now, while you're listening, Scroll down. You can see there's a little place to leave a comment, and leave a comment. It can just be a number, 1 to 10. 1 means not awkward at all. 10 means super duper awkward. Just leave us that. It will actually make our day.
Yeah, and you could do the same thing on YouTube, right?
You could. Yeah.
But not Apple.
Apple
doesn't have comments. What do they do? Because they can't comment on Apple.
Oh, super easy. If you're listening on Apple, you just text Mendy. So it's 434-0.
Yeah, hit me up.
And if you don't want to text Mendy, you can email us at wellthatwasawkwardpodcast@gmail.com.
Dee Dee, thank you for this story, and thank you for being such a good friend to Nathan.
Can you find another Charger 2.2 so we can roll up in that sometime? Hey, Dee Dee, thank you for this story.
And thank you, Madonna, for everything you did for us. Bree, can I sing a Madonna song?
No, but you can sing this song.
Nathan needed to tape Madonna's show.
His mama got freaked out and said, hell no.
But Dee Dee's ride won't incognito.
Well, that was awkward. So here's a tip from us to you.
When you're caught sneaking in your 2.2,
Send a note to the mamas, what you gotta do. Mendy, when you stopped by my house, did you eat all my chips?
don't cry for my corn tortillas.
Those were my corn tortillas.
Mama, don't preach.
Well, that was awkward.
Hey, listener. Usually our stories come from an anonymous storyteller, but today's story came from our friend Denise Stewart, and we want to make sure that you can get in touch with her to hear more of her antics. So head over to the show notes to find out more about Denise and all of her awkward stories. We love you, Denise.
This has been an Awkward Sage production.